our show with some breaking news. The WNBPA Executive Committee has been authorized to call a strike when necessary. This was breaking moments ago. Per the union, 98% of players voted yes, and 93% of players participated in the vote. So this is important, I think. Here is the entire statement from the Players Association. Quote, "The players have spoken. Through a decisive vote with historic participation, our membership has authorized the PA's executive committee to call a strike when necessary. The players' decision is an unavoidable response, they say, to the state of negotiations with the WNBA and its teams. Time and again, the players' thoughtful and reasonable approach has been met by the WNBA and its teams with a resistance to change and a recommitment to the same provisions that have unfairly restricted players for nearly 3 decades. The players' vote is neither a call for an immediate strike nor an intention to pursue one. Rather, it is an empathetic and emphatic affirmation of the players' confidence in their leadership and their unwavering solidarity against ongoing efforts to divide, conquer, and undervalue them. Let it be known, the players remain united, resolute, and prepared to fight for their value and the future of the league." Wow. Okay, so there is a lot there as we welcome in our women's basketball reporter, Kendra Andrews. Kendra, let's just boil this down. How likely is it that the WNBA players go on strike here?
Well, Malika, it's certainly a possibility. This is something that I've been told has been being considered for a while now, going back to before that latest extension was agreed upon right after Thanksgiving. Look, the players have said time and time again that they feel that these negotiations aren't going the way that they want to. In the latest reported proposal from the league, they did offer a $1 million max salary, which with the revenue sharing system they proposed would go up to 1.2. The players, they still aren't quite satisfied with that. So they're looking at all possibilities of how they can get these conversations, these negotiations where they want to be. The next deadline for the CBA is January 9th. The other day, we even heard Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, said that he and Deputy Commissioner Mark Tatum are in a position where they're happy to step in to the negotiating room right now. So everything right now is on the table just from both sides to try and come to an agreement, maybe to avoid a strike, possibly avoid a lockout down the road. Right. But as you just read that statement from the Players Association, it's very much on the table right now.
Yeah, so 93% of players participated, 98% voted yes here is what the PA is saying. And again, what that means is they voted yes to have this option, not voted yes to enact it right now. So I want to bring in Chiney Ogwumike here into this conversation because, Chiney, I want to walk through the players' strategy here. Nneka, your sister, is the president of the WNBPA. Do the players actually want to strike?
So this basically means that this is not calling for a strike now or in the future, but it does demonstrate two very important things, that the players are united more than ever before. I've mentioned multiple times here on ESPN, I was a part of the last executive committee, and it was hard to get 98 or 93% of participation. They got that. Almost every player in the WNBA participated in that. On top of it, the fact that 98% said yes, we trust our leadership, that if the circumstance means we have to make a decision, we're standing united. That is huge. That's the first thing. The second thing I think people should understand is the reason why you get here is the second point, that they feel like the negotiations have not gone in a way that is meaningful for them to honestly have conversations to move forward on the issues. Forward on issues like revenue share, having a fair share as the league grows, the players go, you know, especially when it comes to salary. Facilities, all these things that they're negotiating, they feel like that they're not making the progress that is good and fair in a negotiation. So now that has allowed them to all stand united and say, hey, we understand that we're at the moment where you have to be able to push forward, and this shows that we are one in making this decision if it comes down to it.
So that when necessary clause is really when and if necessary right now, because that option still remains on the table. Kendra, I'm curious, if that strike does come to fruition, because now the players have the opportunity to, if they decide that this is the best pathway forward, what could that actually look like? How long could it last, and how would it affect the next WNBA season?
Well, the WNBA is different from other leagues, right, Malika, where they have quite some time before their off or before the next season starts. Their off season is a little bit longer than the NBA, even the NFL, MLB, those other pro sports. So they have a little bit more time. But the thing that you really have to look at is, Malika, the expansion draft for the Portland Fire, the Toronto Tempo, that's still, those rules are collectively bargained. So we can't have an expansion draft until that's agreed upon. Free agency, that's supposed to begin mid-late January. That can't happen until this happens. So there is some time, but all these other parts of the WNBA calendar are going to get pushed back. So we could be looking at a very condensed ramp up to the season. I just want to say one more thing, Malika. A lot of these top players around the W are right now gathered in Miami for Media Day at Unrivaled. I asked a couple players, Paige Beckers, Nafisa Collier, Skylar Diggins, what does having all these players in the same place allow for them to do in these negotiations? And their main point was just be on the same page, be able to communicate, ask questions, make sure that we are all in unity. So to Shanae's point about having that 98%, these players are all in the same place, having conversations in person with each other versus being spread out internationally in their home markets during a regular off season. And so I think that that's allowing them to really remain in lockstep during these conversations.
Yeah, and that could be why, part of the reason why we're seeing this, as Shanae said, unprecedented turnout for a vote like this. Again, those let's circle back next year emails are going to have to get a little bit more pressing because January 9th is going to come quick, and that is the next deadline we are looking at here for the collective bargaining agreement. I have reached out for the WNBA for comment, and we'll certainly update you when we hear from the league side on all of this as well. Kendra, thank you so very much. Turning to the NBA now. Last night, the Chicago Bulls, they got back their winning.
NBA